chase it, no. I don't need someone to save me, but you appear like a lightning bolt. Maybe you're a wizard, 'cause you're busy. There's magic in your rhythm, like a shockwave to my system. Maybe you're a wizard, 'cause you're busy. 'Cause every time I'm with you, you're my one and only elixir.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ashley Goldstein. I work for NVIDIA as a connection evangelist for Omniverse, and I do these live streams twice a week, Monday and Wednesdays at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. And yeah, today's Monday, so let's get started. First thing I want to link is this resource page, which I link at the beginning of every stream. If you're watching on YouTube, it's also in the description, so you can check it out if you're watching the replay too. And we'll just go through a couple of things on this resource doc here. First thing is the code of conduct. So this applies for the forums, this applies for chatting in the chat, this applies for anything having to do with the NVIDIA developer community. So please make sure you are versed in this, you understand all of the rules. If you break any of these rules, I can delete your comment, I can ban you from the chat. I don't want to have to do that, so just make sure you're up to date. Other thing I have on here is getting started on building an Omniverse. So if you are brand new to Omniverse, you don't even have it downloaded, you can come here. It's basically like a landing page for all of that, and then the documentation and learning. So you'll want to check this out. Next thing is the Set the Scene challenge, which ends on the 30th of June. So make sure you get your submissions in. You don't necessarily have to be an environment artist. You just have to use Omniverse somewhere in your workflow to create an environment. There's been a lot of awesome submissions. I just saw two over the weekend that look really cool. So it's not a contest. You don't win anything, but you do have a chance to be featured on all of the Omniverse channels and the NVIDIA Studio channels, so that's really cool. Other than that is the calendar. So if you don't have this, you're missing out on awesome things like the Learn With Me series I have today, Maddie's USD with me, Ask Me Anything series that's brand new, the regular Wednesday streams, Eric's Engineering, Design, and Omniverse, Developer Office Hours. Like, there's so much going on. Having this calendar attached to your calendar is really, really useful. And then we got the Computex announcements on the forum. So if you missed anything or want to take a look at stuff that were announced, then here's just like a recap of what was announced at Computex. And then finally, what we're getting to today is extension UI. So this is a really big thing I get questions on pretty often, and I feel is like a good practice to continually be on top of is learning how to make your extension look good, right? You want people to use it and not have to really make mistakes when they're using it. So having good UI and UX is really important, and there's lots of different things you can do in your extension. So today we're gonna kind of run down some basic stuff like combo boxes, which is a drop-down menu, sliders, spacers, buttons, and just really basic things to get you launched off. So here's the documentation for that. All right, I think we are good to go. Let's get started. So I have Omniverse code up. I prefer using code when I'm building my extensions because it's kind of like a slimmed down version of Omniverse USD Composer. It doesn't have as many extensions automatically loaded, so it makes things a little bit easier to run. So when you open up code, it looks like this. I already kind of created a box and a couple of things here. So let's start off with a fresh scene. And I'm going to go into extensions. I need to create this extension. So go to this little plus icon. Actually, I'm going to get rid of my face so you guys can see this a little bit better. Wait, this one? There we go. Full screen. Hey, where did my banner go? This banner. I don't think that's in the way. Is that better? Which one? I think that one's good. Okay. Making sure you guys can see everything. So I'm going to click this little new extension template project. I save all of my extensions in my C drive in an OV extensions folder. So if you make a lot of extensions, kind of good to have this best practice. We're going to just click select. And then this project, let's call it Learn With Me, LWN dash extension dash UI. And then the extension ID, so like say if I was to want to publish this, I would want people to search for this. I'll be like, Learn With Me, extension, UI, whatever. That's good enough. And then it'll automatically open up my Visual Studio Code for me. I gotta go find my extension.py, which is in the extensions folder. Boom. And I should have a window pop up. There you go. This is the window for the default extension. It already gives you a label and 2 buttons. And you can get rid of those if you don't end up needing them or use them, but hide this. Let's make it as big as we can get it so it looks good. Control plus icon. So you guys can read it. Make Omniverse a tiny bit smaller. All right, let me know if that is readable for you all or if I need to make it a little bit bigger. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of like up to here. And for now, I'm just gonna put like pass. And let's change it from my window to extension UI example. And when I save it, it refreshes the window. So now I have like just a blank little extension window. And everything I'm going to do in building this UI, I'm going to do just here in extension.py. And I'm going to have it set under this frame. And I automatically get what's called a V-stack. The V-stack places things from top to bottom, as you can see it says. It's like a vertical stack, so it's creating a column. I'm going to keep that. So I have like one big column right here for now. And let's also create one row. So to create a row, I use what's called an H-stack. An H-stack is a horizontal stack. So instead of vertical, it's horizontal, and it goes from left to right. So now I've got one big row. So one big column, one big row. And in that H-stack, I'm going to create another frame. And there's a few different frames you can do. There's collapsible frames, so you can make it big and small. You can do a scrolling frame, so it has like a scrolling bar. And then there's just like a basic canvas frame, which doesn't have either of those options. Like this, I guess, kind of is considered a canvas frame. It's just no additional features to it. So let's start off with a collapsible frame. So with, what is it? UI collapsible frame. And mine already tries to autofill it for me, which is cool. You're welcome. Yeah, I know reading code on live streams is such a pain, so I try to make this as big as possible. All right, so with my collapsible frame, I'm going to give it a title inside of the parentheses. So we'll set the title equals, and in quotations, give it a name. We can just call it collapsible frame. Look at that. It's trying to autofill too much. Okay, I have a GitHub's Copilot on, which I love, but not for this. I should have turned it off. And let's just do a pass for now. And let's save it and see what that looks like. I got this collapsible frame, which if I had anything in it, I could collapse it away like that, which is fun to do. Now let's add some stuff in this frame so we can see how it works. Let's create another row within the frame itself. So now we just have the collapsible frame in its own row, but let's create a row within the frame. So that is with, if you guessed, an H stack. And we'll create, look, I like how this Copilot is so cool. I just want to do the UI label. I don't want to do the button. And save it. So now I have my collapsible frame and it's got this label. And yeah, there we go. So now you can see what it looks like when you collapse it away. Super easy to do. What else can we do within this collapsible frame? Oh, we can let's change it to label example. And no, we'll keep that for now. And let's do some cool little feature in it. I don't want to do a button because buttons are super easy. We can do buttons later. Let's do something like a slider. So to create a slider, you do float slider. And in the parentheses, you set its properties. So you need a minimum property and a maximum property. Let's do, I don't know, 50. And save that for now. And I have this slider. And as you can see, it is like not aligned properly. So we'll have to mess with its spacing a little bit later. And its alignment. You can always do alignment in the label as well by adding alignment. Alignment equals and as you can see in this like autocorrect or autofill, there is alignment center, but there also is other alignment. Alignment will do center, but you also have left bottom, center top, right does the same thing, and then center is just regular. So let's do left. It has to be in all caps for that part. We'll save it. And now it is next to our slider. So it's not kind of in a weird part of the frame. And then we can hide it away. I like UI. It's kind of like magic to save it and it just automatically pops up. Okay, should we do another frame? I think so. We'll do this frame within the H stack, the first H stack, not within the collapsible frame. We'll have it be its own frame, and this one will be, let's do a scrolling frame. And create another column. So maybe the scrolling frame will be next to it. So we have one big column. Let's create another column where this frame will be here. So, or the stuff inside the frame will be in there. V stack. Morning, Jen. And let's give it a label so we can see something in it. And we'll call this scrolling frame example, just like Copilot tells me, and save it. Now we have this frame. So I don't have a bunch of stuff in it, so there is not like a scrolling bar. We can add a ton of things to give it that scrolling effect, so let's do that. We are making just like a extension UI example to show off all of the cool UI features so people can make pretty extensions that are intuitive for their users. Jen knows what I'm talking about. She's the best at UI. Oh yeah, we're gonna add color, don't worry. We are going to add color. We'll get there. All right, so let's, do the alignment thing so that it lines up properly. Let's do center with this one. Have I shown the UI docs in code? Oh, that's a good point. Let me pause really quick. So what Jen's talking about is that documentation that I showed in the resource links. You can also go to Omniverse code UI doc. Throw that over here. And you have interactive UI. So you can see all of the different things you can use. The stacks, the buttons, the spacing, which I'll show. If you want to make a grid, like there's so many things, more than what I'm going to show today, which is cool. Thanks for bringing that up, Jen. I kind of forgot about this. Progress bars are important. And you can copy and paste the code. So if, instead of like selecting the whole thing and then copying it, you just right click copy code, and you can put that right into your IDE. Isn't that nice? We love it. Making things easy. Throw that back over here. Oh, I forgot to close this parenthesis. Save it. So this will stay in the center here. And let's add, I'm going to add a string field so someone can like type in it or input text somehow, but I don't want them to be too close together. So what I'm going to do is add a spacer and give it a height of 10. Now I can add my UI string field like that and save and see what that looks like. So now if I adjust this height, you'll see between the label and the string field gets smaller. If I don't have a height, default is like really, really big. So can customize a little bit more. Like that. And now we have a string field that we can type in. And we still don't have that scrolling frame effect, so let's add one more thing. We'll define this one 5 for now. And let's do my favorite, which is a combo box. In your combo box, this is a drop-down menu. You first set it to the first option you want to be defaulted. So say you have 3 options. That would be 0, 1, 2. So if I want the first option to be visible to my users, I would set that to 0. And then I have to name my options. You know, it could be dogs are awesome. And let's save that. There you go. I got my drop down. My first option, which is dogs, is my default. And I got dogs are awesome for my different selections. I think my dogs know I'm talking about them. They're all looking at me. Let's say awesome is our first selection. So let's do 2 and see how that changes. Now my last option is my default. So I wonder what happens if you just remove that. Oops. Oh, if you don't set a selection, then nothing will be visible. So I'm going to keep it at 0 and save. I had some issue with destroy UI window itself when I was using VStack. Not sure we can cover that at some point. Do you mean in your shutdown? We can cover that. All right. So I'm gonna make this space like 100. We have a scrolling frame. Oh, the scrolling frame is this way. There we go. I was like thinking it was up and down, but it's this way because I set it in a H stack. So if I was to make this smaller, then my scrolling frame goes that way. That's cool. I'm going to set this back to what I have it. 5? That looks good. Good enough, at least. Can you set a combo box with no default selection? Yeah, just like I did before. I can just remove that 0 or that 1 or 2, whatever number. And if you remove the number before your text, then there is no default option. Okay, let's do another one. What's that last one I said? The canvas frame with UI canvas frame. This one is also just within the first V and H stack. Ooh, if I could type today. And let's create a new column with UI V stack and its own row. Let's put a label so we can see something happening. Call this one Learn With Me is the best stream ever. Okay, save. Oh no, wait. That's not right. I put it within the scrolling frame. I don't want to put it within the scrolling frame. How'd I mess that up? Oh, I think it needs to be outside of this. There we go. It needed to be within the H stack, not here. I wanted to put it in its own. So now it's below my collapsible frame and my scrolling frame. Right? And it's in its own thing. Let's set its alignment. Keep adding UI, alignment. And we'll keep the autofill of center. And okay, now we can do some buttons. I know a lot of us are probably pretty familiar with buttons, but let's do them anyway. Let's create a new column for these buttons to live in on their own. And their own row to live in. Their own little home. And let's set our first button. We'll just, hello world button. Now, nope, got add the O. Hello world button. Now, see how it's in its own thing? I like that. So if we wanted this button to do something, we would give it a clicked function. So clicked FN, and then find the function. So we'll do self dot on click. But if I save that, I don't have a on click function yet. So my extension breaks and the window goes away. So what I need to do is create that function, and we'll call that, on click. And we'll say print hello world, save it. And so now that I have that, if I go into my console, let's clear my console, click the button, and I have my print. So you can attach your button to a function. Yay! Easy peasy. Let's create another button. Let's do a space between them. And let's actually put the width. So this is between the two buttons, so not stacked on top of each other, right next to each other. So there'll be a width instead. And we can set the width to just like 5, or we can be more precise and we can use pixel or percent like this. I'm going to use pixel, be a little bit more precise. And pixel has to be in parentheses like that. And now we can set a new button, call this hello new button, and save it. So now I have my two buttons. Capitalize some stuff here. And I can change this to be more precise if I want them to be farther apart. Let's set it to like 100 so we can really see a difference. Like that. But I think the 5 looked better, so you can play around with how you like your spacing. That's all. UX. Anything else we can add? Oh, let's add another function for this thing, just for good practice. And we'll call this one on new button. Before we save, let's create a function called on new button. Print hello new button. Man, this Copilot, just a beast. Makes it so much faster to code. So now when I click hello new button gets printed. So that works. Oh yeah, if you have a question, where is my Discord banner? I have a Discord banner somewhere. There we go. This is the Discord link. I'll also put it in the chat. Invite, copy. There you go. So you can click on that or enter this into the discord.gg.nvidia Omniverse, enter that into your browser and it'll pop up too. Sorry, I'm checking the chat. Okay. Your example is basically I've created an extension that lets the user press a button and it pops up a new window. Then I use a VStick that has a button at the end to say OK. After I press OK, it's supposed to destroy that pop-up window, but it causes the Omniverse to crash. Yeah, bring that into Discord because I think that would be a little bit more in depth and we can help you out. if onClick is an async function, how to call click function? That's a good question. Maybe Jen can answer. I have not used async in my code before. I know Maddie has covered it a few times. If you also go to the Discord, we'll be able to help you out because I think it's a little bit more in depth as well. How can I find viewport UI extension code for learning? Oh, I am going to post this to my GitHub. So I'll have a link for that in the description of this video after I finish. But you can also go to the OmniDoc UI bar in Omniverse code, or you can go to this documentation as well, which is in my reference doc I have in the description. So many places. All right, now that we've, created this beautiful little window, let's change some color because I like color. You can't change a lot of color in these, but you can change some stuff. Like the float slider, you can change your color. So that's by adding a style. And in your style, you do the brackets and you say color and you can set like a text code if you want, but I'm just going to do pink. And so now you might be able to see it. My numbers in my slider are pink. I think the label, you can do that too. Let's do style. Oh, it wants me to do red. Let's do red. And my label is red. Here's that async function. Jen says if you go into Discord and ping her, she'll give you the snippet. She's under staff moderator. Click function lambda async io dot ensure underscore future clicked. Simple. Okay. So I have my red label and my pink slider. What else can we do? I think that's about it, unless we want to add some like cool stuff from the UI doc because we got time. That took way less time than I really thought. Cool. All right, let's go to... I've never done a checkbox before. Let's create a checkbox. So let's just copy this. Let's put it in our scrolling frame. Oh, I pasted it and I gotta fix it. So you create the first checkbox, then you create the second checkbox, and then you connect them using your add value change function. Let's save it and see what it looks like if it works. Oops. Here's my checkboxes. Cool. How do I add text to it? If I was to be like, this is a checkbox. This is a checkbox. Does that work? Nope, it broke it. You don't add your text there. It probably is a label you have to add. Come back. I saved it. There we go. Let's do like checkbox UI.label box 1. Probably put this in its own row with UI HStack. This is where the learning happens, because now I'm just doing this to figure it out myself. Okay, so I put that in its own HStack. And I did not put a spacer, so UI.spacer. Let's create another HStack and put the second one. And just like that, label checkbox 2 with a spacer in between them. Cool. That looks really nice. Let's do a width of 2, because they are super far apart. That's too close. What's 4 look like? Ah! Nice. That's cool. I like it. That is just from that. You don't see pink? On my screen, this looks pink. Right here. This number is pink. Like a salmon pink. Definitely not a hot pink. I think I'd have to like find the hex code for a hot pink. Omni's UI default pink color is bright pastel. Barely pink. Yeah, you're right. Barely. It's not pink enough. How to make UI offset? I don't know. Let's look. Well, maybe that would be... What are you trying to offset, I guess, is the question. Maybe that'd be in styling? I have no idea if that's even a thing. I have not seen it before. I don't see anything that says offset. Yeah, if you could explain to me what you mean by offset, like what are you trying to do? Because you can use spacers. Yeah, you could use your spacer and set your width, and then you could do, like I did here with the button, set the pixel so you could be more precise. Yishu has, you know how to make it offset? All right, what else can we get off this sheet? We've got, you know, like 10 minutes. So we got time. Color widget. Color widget is a button that displays the color for the item model. It's a combo box connected to the model. Cool. Or do we have different fields? We did a string field. Then you have a float field, int field. The string field is what we did. Sliders. We did a float slider. You can even set font size in your float slider. Let's do that. Font size. Go to my slider. So maybe we'll be able to see that pink better, right? Yes. Font size. Font size equals, or not equals. colon 20. Make it really big. I broke something. This is an invalid syntax. What did I do different? Oh, it has to be in the style. Whoops. Whoops. Now, look at, now hopefully you can see the pink. Look how big that is. It's massive. Ah, cool. Yuju has UI label, task type, width, style. You can add your margin. Color, cornflower blue. Nice. Does OV change the backend code enough that extension designers need to bug fix, keep up support with each new update of the tool? Yes and no. It really depends on what your tool is doing. I don't think you'll need to change your UI as much, but you'll want to check that after each new update, your tool does still work properly, because there might have been even just small changes that could break something. So that would be my recommendation as a developer anyway. Yeah, aircraft, exactly. Spacer in your code to offset this in UI. That's pretty much what I recommend. Same thing. Using your spacer, use your height, your width, and use your pixels and percentages to be a little bit more precise. This is the best UI I've ever made. My graphics design professor from way back in college would be very impressed. Okay, let's add one more thing and then start closing things out. I think we're good. Let's do... Is a progress bar hard? Can I do that quickly? Whoa. You create the progress bar, which is just UI progress bar. You set its range and set its value. I don't want to copy this whole thing. Let's do this. Put that over here. Let's do that at the bottom in the canvas frame and have it be in the first H tag. Nope. Let's do its own UI H stack. That will be in its own row. Let's just see if this works. UI progress bar. Oop. And save it and just see what that looks like. Cool. So this is like just the default one. You can start changing things. So let's set its range or set its value. Let's call it first like they did in the example. And then first dot model dot set value. I did the wrong one. So it starts off here, and then you can start doing stuff to actually attach the progress bar to something. That's cool. How do I change it? How do I change the color? Overrides the overlay of the progress bar. Model, custom progress bar value. Styling, its border radius. Oh, styling, its background color. UI progress bar, style, background. I'm also going to do, let's do cornflower blue. And that was style equals our brackets. We're going to do background color. I just do cornflower blue. Wow, pretty. Oh no. Why did it do that? What if I don't. I guess that's just the background color. So the progress bar itself, styling the text color. Like, is this the text color? Secondary color. The secondary color will be pink. So the background will be blue, and we'll do the secondary color pink. Secondary color. Pink. Nope, that's the text inside. Well, that makes sense. Duh. Now it's hard to read. Okay, I'll just keep it that way. Why not? Oh, I missed this part right here. I'm blind. You just said it. It's regular color. So we had color. And we'll do cornflower blue is a regular color name, okay? That is that you see that on like the crayons, like if you get the set of like 50 Crayola crayons, cornflower blue is always in that. So, but yeah, I wonder who came up with those names too. Crayola, I guess. Lavender. Do you think that will work? Let's do lavender. I don't know if that is a color that Omniverse recognizes. I have no clear idea. Also can't speak today. Can't type today, can't speak today. It's Monday. Lavender is not a color. It's like, nope. Let's do green. There you go. Gosh, that's ugly. Okay. So I'm going to put this on GitHub, and it will be under my NVIDIA GitHub. Let's see if I can, let me just find that. So let me link my GitHub. This is my GitHub where I post all my Learn With Me stuff. I'll also put it in that resource doc. There's the GitHub. That's where this extension UI will be. I'll have it under Learn With Me -extension -UI. If you have any more questions about UI or anything you want to do with extensions, go to the Discord, which is here. I'll also put the banner up for the UI. Banner. Boom. That is the Discord right there. Go join our Discord. There's lots of different people on there that can help out. Me and Jen are on there as moderators. We can help out. So yeah. This was fun. I'm glad I did this one. I will be back on Wednesday. I also don't know what I'm going to do on Wednesday. So if you have ideas, ping me in the Discord on what you would like to see, and we can check it out. I only stream for 45 minutes though on Wednesday because the community stream. Make sure you check out that is happening on Wednesday. What is this week's community stream? I don't even remember. Where'd it go? This Wednesday is developing on OpenUSD for better industrial design. Oh, that's with Michael Wagner. He started SyncTwin. Yeah, you definitely want to check that out. And then, before my stream is an Ask Me Anything, build custom AI tools with ChatGPT and NVIDIA Omniverse. Oh, I still have the Discord banner up. Sorry. How do I make it go away? Where'd that banner go? Not that one. My bad. Okay, so this one is after my stream. I can't highlight it. This one here. And then the one before my stream, man, Wednesday's busy, is Ask Me Anything with Mario. He's on my team for building custom tools with ChatGPT and NVIDIA. So custom AI tools. Awesome. So many cool things. All right, guys. I'll see you on Wednesday. Check out all the cool streams. There's lots of things going on. Add this to your calendar. Remember, all of that is in this doc, which is in the description of the video. Okay, I will see you all Wednesday. Goodbye.